So we're going to be recording this session. I wanted to go ahead and thank you two for inviting the majority of the participants. We will have a time at the end for question and answers. If there are any questions that come up throughout the presentation, feel free to add them into the chat box and we'll come back to it afterwards. So based off of everyone's questions or concerns that they had, as well as their family situations, a lot of the areas that came up this time was essential oils that were in particular used for certain emotions or gut health, which in turn comes back to our emotions. So that's kind of where I focused on these specific essential oils that you see in the image here, where we'll go over each of the different oils, how you can use them, and what they're typically used for. So the first one is adaptive. So adaptive is a great oil for change. Anyone that might be facing difficulty adjusting to change, anyone that might be in a high stress environment. This includes moms, parents that are dealing with children that are having other challenges or difficulties. This includes children and teens that might be going through tough exams, having to handle different situations and maybe having high anxiety. This is a great one to help reduce and ease that tension. So this is one where it is a blend, where doTERRA is an amazing company that has some of the best blends in the world, where adaptive is a blend of lavender, sweet gum, copaiba, frankincense. It has so many different oils in it, where there's two different options for the Indian market. It has adaptive, which is the essential oil, which is concentrated, not diluted. Then you'll see just to the right of it in the center is the adaptive touch. That is the roller bottle where it's already diluted and ready to use. This is a great one to be keeping in your purse, alongside with you as you're traveling. So that way you're able to use it directly on your temples, back of the neck, on your wrist points. Those are all great ways to be using them. Then the next one that we brought up was bergamot. This is an amazing oil where, again, this is a citrus oil, where this is a great one for high stress levels. This is actually being tested for helping with when it's used as aromatically, so using in a diffuser or adding into the palm of your hand and breathing, where it's being tested for even situations where people have faced PTSD, where it has made such a dramatic difference in their lives. So this is one that I highly recommend diffusing it. And again, with doTERRA's oils, you can use them diffusing them, so aromatically breathing them in, topically, which covers both topical as well as aromatic, because as soon as it's on your skin, you're also able to smell the aroma and you're breathing it in. Then the third way with doTERRA essential oils only is internal ingestion. So for example, bergamot, on the bottle itself, it will tell you if that oil is ingestible, and it'll tell you also how to use it. So whether it's one drop with 4 fluid ounces, or another alternative is adding it into ghee or coconut oil or any other fat source, is also a great way to be ingesting an essential oil. And this is where find your comfort level and go with that. So this is one where it's a great mood uplifter, where you can have it diffused, where this is different, slightly different than wild orange or lemon, where this one, the chemical constituency has higher properties for mood boosting. So this is a great one where diffusing it is a great option. So for example, if someone in your family is not inclined to alternative or holistic therapies, this is a great one to be just diffusing, because when you diffuse an essential oil in your home, you're not only affecting yourself, you're also empowering everyone else around you, because they're also getting that aroma and the aromatic benefit of it. So yes, I will be sharing for anyone that's on the call today as well. If you can either put in your email address or your WhatsApp number, we will be sharing the link to the recording. So when you're saying that you're not,
We'll share recording in the group itself.
yes, yeah, we'll share the recording in the group.
whoever is having any query, they can drop in the comment section. Who are not comfortable in English, they can connect with me later on for Hindi classes. So this is our little Abraham.
Yes, little Barrow. So he is not sleeping. He was crying in the other room, so we brought him in. So basically, if you're not able to read these, when you get the copy as well, you'll be able to see it in larger detail as well. And what we'll also be doing is, if anyone is interested, when you do sign on board with the essential oils, we provide you with all the education. When you also receive your first essential oil bottle or any of the essential oil bottles, you will get a product information page, which will be in both English as well as in Hindi. So that way you're able to exactly understand what the oil is for, how to use it, when to use it, and everything else about it. So that's where you'll have all those resources available to you. So the next one is wild orange. This is a great one where typically when we talk about citrus oils are very uplifting and can be mood boosting essential oils. However, depending on how you're using an essential oil, it can be both uplifting, but it can also be calming. So for example, wild orange, when you are using this essential oil, if you're diffusing it, it will give you an energizing effect. Where if you are internally ingesting it, maybe before you go to sleep, this is one that's able to really nicely calm and soothe the mind. So for example, if you find that before you go to bed, your thoughts are going a mile a minute and you just need to kind of shut down your mind, this is a great essential oil to be taking internally, where you can add a drop into the palm of your hand, then take your thumb, dip it in, and then press it against the roof of your mouth. So this is a great way to be using wild orange as well too. And then any of the citrus oils are great cleansing oils. So even for detoxification, they're very nice to be used that way. Then we have lavender essential oil. So lavender essential oil is one of the most popular essential oils in the market, and it is also one of the most adulterated essential oils. So this is where, again, one of the things that you'll see either Ritu or myself talking about over and over again is how these oils are sourced and the quality and therapeutic value of these oils. So with this, you're able to see on the bottom of every bottle, there will be a batch number that you can then look up on a website called sourcetoyou.com. And from there, you're able to see what testing and the third-party testing that has gone into each of these essential oils. So this is where it's very important to understand the process that goes into these essential oils, where doTERRA sources their oils from all over the world, wherever their therapeutic properties are most valued, and typically in their indigenous region. So wherever they grow, and then they're either bottled and manufactured in that country, or they're brought over to the US where the main warehouse is, and there's warehouses all over the world. So regardless of whether you're in India, in the UK, in Australia, there is a warehouse that you can access these oils to using your account that you sign up through whoever has invited you to this class. So that's one thing, again, to be mindful, where people say, okay, well, I get headaches from lavender essential oil. This is most likely because that oil is so adulterated that that is what is causing those headaches and those chemicals that are added to it. So being mindful of the brand that you're using. With lavender essential oil, the linalool content in it is what creates that soothing and that calming atmosphere. And this is great where, for example, when we talk about autistic children or children on the spectrum, having a routine and setting a routine for them is something that helps them, especially with bedtime, because usually what I've seen with a lot of the children that either I worked with or Ritu has worked with is that there's a lot of anxiety that's associated with going to sleep. There's also anxiety with separation from the parents or being away from their parents or siblings during those nighttime hours. We're creating that routine for them and using an essential oil to kind of help soothe, calm the system, and being able to be put into either like a foot massage or a foot soak or just rubbed behind their ears, something that creates that routine and that calmness for them. This is a great way to be using lavender essential oil on a daily basis for them. The next ones that we're going to touch upon are cedarwood, serenity, frankincense, and copaiba. So for cedarwood, cedarwood is an amazing oil where it has very grounding properties. So yes, we'll go over these afterwards. So for example, cedarwood with its grounding properties, this is a great one for earthing, for feeling that groundingness. So it can be applied to the bottom of the feet. It's also very good for the skin where it's a very good toner. So when we look at those properties, this is a great one to be diffusing, and you can blend it with other oils to be able to have that grounding, that rooting effect for that essential oil. Then for serenity, serenity is also very similar to lavender. However, one of the things that I love about the Serenity blend is that it also contains vetiver, and it contains vetiver in a beautiful balance where it's not overpowering at all. And vetiver can be a strong oil for some, where vetiver is very earthy, very grassy. It is a grass, basically. And that's where it's also a very grounding and soothing essential oil, where when we talk about Serenity, this is one where it has that lavender, it has cedarwood, it has hoewood, it has vetiver in it, it has a few other oils in it as well too. And that's where adding that either into a diffuser, into a bath, adding it onto the back of the neck. This can also be used during the day. So for example, if someone is having anxious feelings, or if they're feeling that they just need a little bit of calmness, this is a great one where, again, for any of these oils, add a drop into the palm of your hand, rub your palms together, and just take a few deep breaths. Automatically, you're focusing on breath work as well as inhaling an essential oil. And this is where some of the essential oils, when we get into, for example, frankincense, this is a sesquiterpene. So this essential oil is actually able to cross blood-brain barriers. And this has been researched and tested. So this is where essential oils can be so powerful and so impactful for children, adults, all ages. So with frankincense, this is one where it is amazing for cellular rejuvenation, again, for grounding, relaxation, balance. And we'll come back to one of the questions that we've had regarding improving speech, where we'll address that afterwards. But frankincense is a great one to be using. Copaiba. This is the CBD equivalent of essential oils. So this is a great one, especially for parents as well as children that might be overwhelmed, that might be having a lot of stress on their nervous systems. This is a great one where it can just kind of calm that whole nervous system down. And that's where it's important to have that calmness and to be able to support the body in a beautiful manner. So this can also be taken before you go to bed, or it can be taken throughout the day as well too. And the best way to take this one is internally. Then the next set of oils are digestion, balance, rosemary, and Roman chamomile. So when we talk about the gut and the mind connection, they're very much interrelated, where we have digestion. So this is where for digestion, you can just either add a drop into your mouth, you can add a drop into a cup of warm water and sip on it that way. Again, if you're adding it into any water, please make sure you're using a glass or a steel container, just because you want to make sure that you're not using a plastic container, as it can leach out the plastics when you're putting an essential oil into water. So this is a great one where, again, for applying across onto your stomach for digestion, adding a couple of drops into your water, adding it onto your stomach topically to support with digestive support. This is one where, for example, if someone is having diarrhea or constipation, digestion is a blend of cardamom, peppermint, fennel, ajwain, like all of the herbs and spices that we typically keep in our home. However, it's a lot more potent and powerful. So this is where one essential oil can be used for a variety of different ailments. So this can be used topically. For example, if your kids have eaten something that might be upsetting their tummy, this can be applied topically with some fractionated coconut oil and applied onto their stomachs. This can be taken in the morning to kind of help with your bowel movements and as almost like a detox format. So there's different ways for you to be able to use these oils. Then we have balance. This is a very good grounding blend. So again, with children that might be feeling a little bit fidgety, for anyone that might be feeling overwhelmed, this is a great one for soothing and calming. And this is one where I recommend balance is a great oil to start the day with, because it just kind of helps ground you from the beginning. And this is one where you can have it where it has frankincense, it has cedarwood as well in it. It has a lot of, it's more earthier smelling than some of the other oils. This is a great one for all ages. It doesn't matter the age. Balance is a great one to be having to diffuse as well as applying topically. Then rosemary. Rosemary is a great one for focus. This goes for kids, younger teens, adults, even for senior citizens that are having difficulty maybe focusing, whether it's focusing on a specific task, whether it's focusing on sitting down and doing their homework, whether it's focusing and just putting that to-do list together. This is a great one where you can add it into your recipes, or you can also just diffuse it in that room or apply it topically onto wrist points with it being diluted to kind of help reduce any fatigue that they might be feeling and kind of just sharpen the brain up a little bit to let it focus on the areas. So with Roman chamomile, you're able to add it into your teas, into your waters, and to be able to kind of just amplify the effects. For example, when you add a drop of peppermint essential oil into a cup of water, this is where one drop can equivalent to 26 cups of peppermint tea, where that may be quite strong for someone. So that's where even just taking a toothpick, dipping it into the essential oil bottle, and then twirling it into your tea is a great way where you're not even using a full drop. You're just using a little bit to still get that calming, sedative effects, where Roman chamomile is a great one for you to use that. And it's a very soothing, calming floral aroma. So having it applied on the bottom of your feet before you go to bed, or diffusing it. And that's where you can blend some of these other essential oils together, where you can blend either frankincense, Roman chamomile, serenity, having those as a combination. You can find and choose what works for you and your family to be able to use the essential oils accordingly. Then I wanted to just put up the dilution guide for essential oils, where everyone asks, okay, well, how many essential oil drops should I be using for topical application? And if I'm making a roller bottle for myself or for my baby. So there are different ones depending on the age group. Then again, if it's a senior citizen, we recommend that using the same ratio that we have for young adults, where because their skin is a little bit more sensitive again at a younger age as well as at an older age, that's where we recommend those ratios. So again, you'll have a copy of this to be able to come back to and utilize. Now just coming back to being able to how to buy these essential oils. So if you come in here by Ritu's link, definitely go to her website, where it's mydoterra.com/solicitude parenting by Ritu Jain. If you've come in through my link, you can scan the QR code or use my doTERRA ID or that bit.ly link. If someone else has invited you, go back to them and they'll be able to support you on how to sign up with the oils. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen sharing, as well as I'm going to stop the recording so we can then go ahead and open it up to some of the questions.